Took the plastic off the box, got an oil spot forming there. So I have a feeling that this motor is a little leaky. Well, it's bagged up pretty tight. The fact that there's oil leaking out is kind of questionable. Did I get a motor with a leak in it? I don't know. Anyway, let me finish unpackaging that and we'll take a look. Out of the box, onto the floor. Gotta say they did a pretty nice job packaging it with all the foam in place. Seems to have got here without being damaged. It is from a dirt bike. It is obviously pretty dirty and gonna need some cleanup. As far as where the oil is coming from, I'm not exactly sure yet, but overall, oh, that's not good. This stud is totally bent. Hopefully I can get that out of there and get a replacement in. I think otherwise it looks okay. That's very curious why that is all messed up. Gonna have to figure that one out. Anyway, this is for the dirt bike. Oil's coming from somewhere there. Don't know if it's the drain plug or not. That could be concerning. Okay, there's a fair bit of oil in here. This is the problem. The engine mount, one, it's cracked. Number two, it's mashed. That should be a circle. Not sure what I can do with that. That's a big problem. Okay, well, that's what I've received. Something also left a big old mark there. Not sure what that may be. The oil may be coming from the counter shaft, so maybe we need a new seal in there. It's very, very wet as a starting point. Again, that mount is my biggest concern. Okay, here's another big problem with this motor. It's hard to tell from a distance, but looking straight on, the shaft is obviously bent. I can tell it a lot better than you can see on the video, but it is clearly, radically, grossly bent. I'm not sure if I can get that shaft out in order to replace it. That's for the shift shaft. So that is clearly bent. I might be able to fix that from using parts from my other motor. But if that's bent and I can't get it out, I have a useless engine. Bummer. I'm here finishing up the TTR125 motor that I bought because, dun dun dun, notice the end of the shaft. It's a little bent. Well, that's the shift shaft down there that comes out of the motor. Seems that it got dropped in shipping and got bent. The only way to get it out of the engine was to cut it off as close as I could to the engine. And then from the back side here, I had to take out the clutch, take apart everything, and then with a hammer and a punch, drive the shaft back out the engine, because that's all I had on the end. As you can see, yes, it is bent. And I had to absolutely wail on it to get it out of the motor, which probably the hole that's bored in here is no longer circular, but the shaft is out and I'm hoping to salvage the motor. I have mangled the threads trying to get out the bent stud. I just had to do so much drilling to get it out. I don't know that there's enough there to fix that. So I'm kind of bummed about that. I don't know if a shop could weld that up and maybe I could put a stud in. I don't know, I'll have to figure that out. But progress has been made here. There's my shift shaft. It moves, it rotates, so hopefully I can put this back together. Okay, I've been working for hours and hours on this motor. The problem was the stud was broke off. I drilled it out and unfortunately didn't get it all, and I had to over drill the hole. I just finished tapping the hole with the tap because I need to install a helicoil. In fact though, hard to see, but I need to install 2 helicoils because the first time I tried to bore it out, the hole was too large, so the smaller one sitting inside of the larger one, I'm gonna have to put the larger one in, then put the second one in, and then I am going to take and put a stud back in. So the 2 nuts are so I can drive it in, but I need the helicoils first to finish that. With that finished, hopefully I've salvaged this motor, fixed the shift shaft. Let's see if we can do this. Okay, I've switched tools here and got my helicoil started. And then I'm using the handle here to screw it in. I just got to seat this just deep enough that it doesn't stick up past the surface. So close, so close. That looks like I can't really turn it any further. I'm afraid I will break it off, so I need to pull that out. So I have my first set of threads installed. Time to install the next smaller size. Next thing I need to do is with the helicoil here, there's a little tang on the end that I have to break off. It's hard to see here, but to do that, I have to put a punch down in the hole and smack it to break it off. So I am just going to use a ratchet and tap it. Hopefully that broke it off. That way the bolt can go through the center and bottom out in the hole instead of getting stuck by the little tang on the end. Nope, I didn't get it. Okay, put the camera down and finish to extract the piece I broke off. A little air to, yeah, just check and make sure I got it. I've never had to do this before, but this is double helicoils. So I had to remove so much material from the head to get it to work. Okay. Thread in the head. No focus. Yep. Thread in the head, so we need to break off the little tang. Oops. Wrong size. Put that in. And then whack that to break it off. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that means we can then put our stud back in. Finishing touch now. Drive in the new stud. Yeah. That's as far as it'll go, hand tight. Time to get out the ratchet and finish the work. Okay. So that means we can install an exhaust and have a functional motor. Here's our finished job. You can see some of the threads because the helicoil is a little deeper in there. And also because I didn't drill the hole deep enough. It's too late now to fix that. But as long as that's good enough to hold the exhaust on, we're in business. Okay, I got the motor put in last night, stayed up till midnight. Got the exhaust mounted today. You can see the nuts don't match, but the stud's in there, tightened up. So far, so good. Turn the fuel on. And at this point, I think it runs. set up